Crazy guy.
Yeah. Cool, right, I'm ready.
All right, cool. So, you ready, Brent? We ready? Yeah, so like, how do we want to approach the track? Like, in our verses in the other songs, you know, No More Knives, we wrote personal verse. Clarky wrote like a victim verse. How do we want to approach the No More Racism song? So how are we going to say your lyrics? Where's it going to come from?
Well, Dad actually wrote kind of a full song just about, but mine's on different scenarios. It was sparked it off from that George Floyd thing. Because at the time, you know what I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on, you know what I mean? People were really aware of racism, and there's loads of stuff in the media. There was loads of like people talking about it. It was really, really prominent. I mean, it was a good time to talk about race. Some of it affected me as well. Obviously, I had that BBC thing, what I did, you know what I mean? Which it kind of like, I revisited that. And certain parts of my childhood and certain parts of just racism in general from my friends' points of view, where my friend nearly got his wrist cut, the other guy got booted in the, nearly lost his life getting booted in the cab. The Chris Alder thing where I was there. Do you know what I mean? I've witnessed quite a bit of stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
So I've kind of like amalgamated into a few scenarios. Well, because I didn't want to just go from just a point of view of, oh, this guy's pulling the race card, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Because when you do talk about things, people always, it's always like, oh, well, got a chip on your shoulder, or
Angry black man.
yeah. When it's not that, it's because sometimes it's when you've experienced that all your life, and sometimes you don't feel comfortable talking about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But all of a sudden, when you do talk about it, it's always like, oh, what about me? Do you know what I mean? But,
Yeah.
you know, when you're talking with other people, what about white people? Do you know what I mean? What about, you know what I mean? White lives matter, and you know what I mean? So you're always kind of counteracting sometimes when about people. Do you know what I mean? With people when you bring something up.
That is a reactive response from people who are racist, in it. Like, yeah, I understand, man. Like, sometimes you feel it's hard to speak because straight away you're getting like stuff fired back at you, and you've got to answer that when, you know, they're not listening to what you were saying in the first place. So yeah, you just hear it all the time. Oh, well, they're coming here taking our jobs. What about our people? They're coming here taking our women, taking our hotels. What about our people? I'm like, aren't we all our people? You know, everybody who's born, everybody who's human, that is our people. Like,
Because it seems to be this new articulated way of being basically racist, and it's just coming down to the immigration thing, and it's just going down to poverty and blaming people from other societies for someone else's poverty. And the one thing that I've been getting a lot of the time is war veterans not looked after, but I know, but the guy who's an immigrant who came over to this country illegally is in the Mercure Hotel. And that same, it's so weird because in that same picture, people are really starting to believe that the person that's in the Mercure Hotel is directly impacting the person, the war veteran. Like the war veteran that has never been looked after since time began. This country is crapped on people that served in the war, crapped on its old people. But now people are kind of, not now, it's just become more visible. I had some builders in my house the other day, and this guy started going on about immigration to me in my house. I couldn't believe it. So I started to see red, because I was like, this guy's been in my house for like 3 weeks. I've been making him cups of tea. And he was going on about Muslim rape gangs and the thing about mosques. I was like, I couldn't believe it. So I just walked off. I never spoke to the guy again. It was very awkward. But maybe this song would be what I should have said, rather than losing my temper and just going, right, that's it. Maybe have a conversation. So yeah, in answer to your question, conversation is something that I want to do.
Think about like the times that we live. I think there's always been that where people have blamed other people.
True.
Do you know what I mean? There's always
all the time.
that. So it's, do you know what I mean? Was always that racist stance where people do blame other people. There's always going to be that hatred, like there has been hatred. Even like my parents, when they came over, the same situation, scenarios, still go on with my friends, even working factories.
So it's not like anything's changed. No,
some things don't seem like they've changed since even Brexit. I mean, I think from Brexit, I think I've felt that racial tension. Like it's like this wave was just coming round again with the hotels, but the Brexit thing.
Yeah.
I think that was.
The people literally thought that was going to stop immigration, didn't they?
Yeah.
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 Like, people came to take the jobs that people didn't want to do in the first place.
Yeah, yeah. Nobody was applying for them, was they? And
the Brexit thing was a big wave. Do you know what I mean? Where people were just like, say, the people on social media, people that you thought were your friends, they were kind of all of a sudden it's like, wow, I've seen this other side to someone.
is it that people are ignorant then? So you know, you have people say, oh yeah, they're coming here and taking their jobs, but people who actually looked into it or thought about the situation would be saying, you know, they're coming and they're paying into our community, and you know, they're making the streets thrive, and you know, so is it just uneducated ignorance that?
I think, yeah, so there's a lot of, like, I would say clever people that are benefiting from spreading certain bits of information, because information is worth, like clickbait and stuff like that, like, you know, local news outlets are just pushing that rhetoric, and they know that when people get angry, they interact with posts more. Like Facebook has recently done a survey and said posts that make people angry are the most interacted posts, and they also attract the most advertising as well. So unfortunately, they're just monetizing racism and doing really well out of it. That is something that is coming up a lot in my personal life.
That picture, what you just said, a war veteran and an asylum seeker.
You can just get two pictures, put them together, and all of a sudden it makes a conclusion in someone's mind.
Yeah, yeah.
A very, very small proportion of people are in those hotels, but all of a sudden it represents an entire nation of immigrants who, most of them can't work, most of them can't claim benefits, most of them can't open a bank account, most of them can't even clothe or feed themselves, but that small percentage are creating so much anger as well. So that's something I think we should talk about and, you know, investigate what are the facts.
So are we going to be asking why you're so angry in this song?
That's a good question.
What about you, my brother? Like, I know we've talked about racism in the past and how it's affected you. What do you want to say in this? Like, what do you think your message is going to be?
There's that many different ways you can come at it. It's like it's a complex thing, isn't it? Like, so I think there's a lot of I think there's clever people behind it. You know, it serves politicians.
It's all part of the big machine.
It keeps us all divided. It keeps us all arguing. It keeps all the poor people arguing and stuff like that. Racism's a taught thing, isn't it? It's always been a taught thing from as far back as you go. Like, you know, back to slavery and that. People was taught, the white people was taught that black people was inferior and genetically suitable for slavery, and that they was degraded to being less than like animals and stuff like that. You know, and look at like how Hitler turned the Germans against the Jews by making them look so evil and stuff like that. So it's all taught, really, you know.
Yeah, but it's all talk within power, isn't it? And then it just gets fed down.
Yeah.
It's not propaganda, isn't it?
Yeah.
Propaganda and that.
And the human nature doesn't teach you to be like that.
Yeah.
Human nature just teaches you to be like, oh, we're just together, aren't we?
Yeah.
We just play together, don't we?
Yeah.
They don't see colour, do they?
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like with the babies and stuff.
Yeah.
And then when's it change?
When you start becoming programmed
The
by the
system,
world
innit?
around
System,
you.
when the system, you get into the system, don't you? And parents as well. Parents can drive it as well, can't they?
Yeah, I suppose you're absolutely right though. It all has to be learned, doesn't it?
Imagery then, we can use certain imagery like the photo, what David just said, and stuff like that in the video to try and
Imagery to explain.
explain that we're born as one, and you know,
We ain't born to hate, are we?
No.
We ain't born to
taught.
judge people by the colour of the skin. When it's nature, it's just it just grows and just develops how it's meant to.
Yeah.
And then there's that interference, isn't there?
Yeah, innit? Born as one and then divided into so many different places.
There's so many subjects you could talk about.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, with race, I mean, like you said, where do we start?
Yeah, yeah.
I think we need to make people like really like think about like think within themselves and stuff about like the values they hold and where their values and that come from, and you know, why do they think the way they think. It's all good saying to people you shouldn't be racist, don't be racist, it's not right, and that they need to think actually why do I even think that, where does that even come from, do you know?
Alright, cool, so
Getting to the root of the problem.
Yeah.
Why do I think like that?
Point things out to people and stuff and educate people and that, you know.
Slogans we've got is, why are you so angry? I think that's a good question. And if we can kind of like delve into that, why are you so angry, and then maybe take it from there.
We could show, like, you know, you could find countless newspaper front pages that are talking about refugees and migrants and all that, and swarms of they use words like swarms of migrants.
Swarms.
And it was, I think. It was once on it. I think.
Swarms.
Yeah, literally.
Invasion.
I think it was David Cameron that got pulled up on it. For
Swarms.
something about swarms, mate. Swarms, yeah.
All right. So, do you think there's anything else that we need to consider?
I think before it was always a big part of my mind. Is like, oh, the songs were too long, but they actually work within the setting that we use them. So I just think we just need to accept that. You know, we're not aiming for the charts for this. We're aiming to engage people. And I think that just takes a lot of effort. Because before I was really concerned about truncating things to be 2.5 minutes so it could get on radio and stuff. I'm not saying radio isn't important, but radio isn't the biggest medium now. It's not. And I
you
think
find radio won't play anything that's political or positive or
controversy.
I'm not even bothering. So I think if we just stick to the facts that, look, 80% of the people that they're gonna engage with it, we're gonna be delivering it in an educational setting. It's gonna go to our sort of, just having that freedom to know that, yeah, we're not trying to get in the charts. What we are trying to do is change hearts.
All right, cool. This is what I wrote anyway. I stand as a label white man, probably African. That is our motherland or roots if you do the math again. I stand as a label white man for Black Lives Matter. I stand for my brothers and sisters who had their life shattered. I stand as a label white man with my head held in shame. I apologise sincerely for all the suffering and pain that's been created in this world by white people. Fact, for money and power, greed, colonisation, Union Jack. I stand for equality, but that's an oxymoron. All the humans are equal on this earth that we are born on. I stand for my brother Chris, left to die by the police. I stand for Janet and his family, hope he soon rests in power and peace. I stand as a label white man with disgust filling my mind, disgusted how my race has designed white privileged mankind. I stand for my African family, and yes, I'm labelled white. I stand as a human for change and what's right.
Nice, bro.
Nice one.
Thank you, brothers. So yeah, when I wrote that, like, I thought, you know, I can't truly have an opinion about racism because I'm white and I've never suffered the racism that any of you have suffered. So I wanted to write it standing by you all without my opinion coming across. So I'm just like, it's a stand.
You've always
by
been
my
like that
brothers,
anyway.
mates.
You've been brought up in black culture.
Yeah, for real.
So
man.
like, you know, so you've never seen colour. You've just been into the culture and and embraced it
From a young
do you
age.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And I guess the culture's made you what you are and took you
Yeah.
places
Absolutely,
and
man.
developed you into what you want to be. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
all them things. It's sometimes I just diffuse stuff. I just think I can't be bothered.
What
you
is
know
the
what I mean?
point?
Yeah.
But obviously, you've seen it and you know what I'm like, and we're brothers, isn't it?
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? So like, you know, you're just the same way.
if it hurts you, it hurts
Yeah,
me.
do you know what I mean? So
Simple as that.
you know how much it does affect us, and yeah, you always stand up, for it, and I only put it down to it because we live that life, don't we, together?
Yeah, it's been hip hop culture's been my life from being 9, 10 years old, man. It's like, the only culture that's ever made me feel like.
At home.
I guess I want people to go, this white guy's talking some sense, and just try and make them see that, you know, you don't. If you're a white person, you don't have to have this stupid, ignorant opinion. You know, you can have your own opinions on everything, and so, yeah, I just want to make some white people think about what they're saying and what they're doing. And
there's people out there struggling and fighting for the right cause, just like you.
Yeah, for real, man.